What the fuck is going on? I just got off work. Oh, I forgot. I sent this here last night. I just got off work. I just want to record a podcast, to be honest. I'm addicted to this shit. I like doing it. I don't even know what the fuck I wanted to talk about. I don't have a concept to talk about. All I wanted in my head at work was, should I record a podcast? I'm like, yeah, let's record a podcast. Let's see what the fuck comes out of it. Chances and mine's been getting a lot better. Chance and I are fucking hustling. We are getting good at this shit. And that ain't like toot our horns and none of that shit. Like, we're nowhere near the best. We'll never be the best. But we've been practicing. We've been getting better. And I'm proud of us, man. The last 3 have been fucking bangers. They have been good. And if you haven't listened, I recommend that shit. I recommend that shit. That is good stuff to listen to. We just started talking. It's just how me and Chance have always been. Like, ever since I met him at Bega, we just start talking. And then that's why I just like, let's just turn the camera on, bro. We might as well. Sometimes it takes a second, because he second guesses himself a lot, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's actually really good. The amount he criticizes himself, and I don't think he'll worry about me saying any of this because he says it himself, but the amount he criticizes himself is a lot. And I think that he gives himself a harder time than he probably should. But I think maybe the reason he's that way, if you want to like get all freaky deaky university on this podcast, I have always been overly confident in myself. I've always had this idea, not even an idea, just this feeling that I am capable of anything and I can do anything. And I mistake that. Well, that's the thing. It's not really a mistaken sense of confidence. That is, I think that's innate to the human being. Like anybody with the human brain and body, if you hone all of it, your soul, your mind, your spirit, I just said soul, your mind, body, and Jesus Christ. Your mind, body, and spirit. If any human being does that, I have the full-on belief that that you can accomplish anything you set your mind out to. I don't think we have the full capability of what the mind can do. I think we're not using our mind to its full potential. Even like the smartest motherfuckers on the planet, I feel like there's another aspect to the human being that we're missing. There's something that's not there. That's why everybody feels like there's a hole. There's a hole in ourselves because we're not being our full and true selves. And I think that Chance and I will balance each other out. I paused because I feel like I should say this. Just acknowledge it, because a lot of people who watch this know him too, but there's a guy that I went to school with that had gotten into a bike accident. And I'm not trying to get all depressive and like, I know this is a kind of serious moment. I'm just smiling and shit trying to lighten it up because I don't like the heavy feelings. That's why I like try to crack jokes and shit when something serious is going on. But this guy had gotten into a bike accident. I won't share the details because I don't feel I have the place to share the details of all that shit. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. There was a memorial for him yesterday. A lot of people popped out. I wasn't real close to this dude. Like, me and this dude weren't best friends. But I had known him pretty well. And he was a really good guy. He was a really good person. A lot of potential. A lot of fucking potential. That kid, he was going to do something big in this world. And it's crazy. It is insane. Honestly, that's what I've been thinking about the past, well, I guess yesterday and today, was just how insane it can be that he was probably 22, 23 years old. He was young, man. And that loss of potential, the loss of being, loss of life, it's just insane. I mean, most people try to avoid the idea of death, and I used to be the same way. But I don't do that anymore, and I try to think extensively about it. Not because I want it to happen to me or anybody around me or anybody for that matter, but because it's a very real part of life. That's the other end of life. Yeah, we get to live, we get to have these good experiences and be, but we also have to accept the fact that one day we're not going to be here anymore. And unfortunately, sometimes we get taken at such a young age, man. And it's so unfortunate. It's so heartbreaking to have to hear about people my age just passing away. Because even with the extensive research and knowledge I've tried to gain on the subject of the afterlife, with what you can, obviously, without experiencing it yourself, even with what I believe and what's in my mind, and like, I obviously believe the soul lives on and all that shit, but the fact that he's no longer here on this physical plane, it's kind of been messing with my brain a little bit. And I know it's been messing with a bunch of other people. That's why I just wanted to get it out there, because it's been a kind of major thought on my mind. Just the simple fact that, well, one, it's not guaranteed that we get to wake up every day and enjoy this life that we have. And I heard the neighbor upstairs. I might be too loud, but it's not every day we get to enjoy this shit and have this shit guaranteed. And sometimes it gets cut short, and it's unfortunate as fuck. It sucks. There's nothing really we could do about it, because we're biological beings. And that's just part of our existence. We have a clock, and it starts ticking right after we're born. But I obviously believe it lives on. I don't think that's the end. But the fact that we all take this for granted, we all think this is a guarantee, that we're just gonna wake up every day. And I'm mad uncomfortable now, I can't lie. I don't like people listening, and I feel like he's listening. We just gotta block it out. But besides that, like, it's just unfortunate, man. And I had to lay it out there, because the only reason I'm saying all this is because I had to pay respect to the guy. Like I said, we weren't super close, but he was a good guy. He was a really good guy. Regardless of the mistakes he made and crazy shit he did, we all do shit like that, but he was a good dude at the core of his being. I could tell he was a good guy. And it just kind of sucks, you know what I'm saying? Where the fuck can we go to alleviate this fucking deep, dark fucking passage we brought in here? I guess what I could say is we just need to make sure that we're living our life to the fullest. Gotta make sure that we don't waste time. Time is so valuable. You can't get it back. It's the only resource you can't get back. You can get money, you can get clothes, you can get all this shit. You can get everything you want on this material plane, besides time. Time is something that humans have not learned to control yet. Maybe we will at some point when we get to an advanced point of technology, but right now, we can't reverse time, can't reverse aging. We're working on it. Humans are working on reversing aging, but as of right now, we can't. It's just that simple fact. So we need to, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm not your dad, but we gotta live it up. Obviously in a smart manner. That's why I've said before, you gotta minimize the risks you take. Because there's a lot of risk in life. And you're gonna have to take a lot of risks. But you can minimize the ones you don't need to take. Say, I don't know. For example, drunk flying, I guess. And you fly a plane drunk. That'd be stupid. Don't do that. But like, that's a risk, and that's a pretty dumb one. But there's some smart risks out there, like investments and shit like that. Definitely don't have to sit here and waste our time. Too many people are just sitting around waiting or expecting something. I noticed that with my own brain. Like, my brain's always waiting, always anticipating something to come, whether that be coffee or food, or and then it leads me into a mindset of just always hungry, not just for food but everything. And then I just want to keep consuming everything, phone, the fucking TV, all this shit. And then I'm like, God damn. And then my brain gets so squirrely, and it takes me so much to just mellow that guy out. And part of the fact is probably because I haven't gone to the gym for 2 days. I mean, one, I drank a little bit of whiskey. If you watched the last podcast, so I was a little bit hungover, and I had some shit going on with family, and I've been sore as hell because I helped my brother-in-law put up a trampoline, and those springs and like just putting that thing together is insane. You wouldn't think it'd be hard to put up a trampoline, but that shit is hard as fuck. The tension on those springs are insane. And it's like a row machine for your back when you're at the gym. You got to use your entire arm, your back muscle, and pull that shit on. And then after a while, your body starts to get tired and it starts to get worn down. So eventually, I was just using my whole body and just leaning back, because some of the springs had so much tension that it was just not going to happen with my arm. You know what I'm saying? And then I got done. I'd gone to my dad's house, and he's like, I was just going to bring a ratchet strap when I came. I was like, why the hell didn't I think of that? A ratchet strap, if you don't know what it is, it's a strap that holds stuff down when you are like towing a trailer or carrying something in the bed of your pickup truck. And there's a mechanism on it. I don't know what it would be called. Maybe I don't know what it would be called. It's a mechanism that tightens the string, and you go and it'll tighten the string. Tighten the strings down to whatever objects you want to be secured down to your vehicle, whatever that vehicle may be. And so if you tie a string around the trampoline and ratchet it, it would pull the fucking mat towards you, and you wouldn't have to pull it. And then you just put the spring on. My dad's smart. He's smart as hell. Like, I don't know how he did it. That man got so smart. I feel like I would have wasted my potential if I grew up in our parents' era, because there was no internet. And obviously the internet's a bad thing in some cases, but the internet has taught me so much. It's educated me in a way that I would never have been educated without it. And if I lost it or didn't have it, and I was still if everything was the same, it's just we didn't have the internet, I don't know if I'd ever I don't think I would get out. I think I'd be stuck in my head. That's why I emphasize that we got to work on ourselves and do all this shit and utilize the resources we have. Because I don't think maybe it's for myself. Maybe it's a little, I mean, I'm sure it's a little selfish. We all think in a way that benefits us a lot of the time. So I'm sure it's a little bit selfish, but I guarantee a little bit of the reason I do this is just because I would not have gotten out. It took a lot. It took luck, it took work, it took education, it took everything I had, and I'm still trying to get out. My brain's a demon. That motherfucker keeps trying to pull me back into hell all the time. It wants me to just follow all these impulsive desires, like eating food all the time and doing all this other stupid shit and I'm sure people understand what the hell I'm talking about, because this is just how the brain works. You like something and you go abuse it too much, whether it be watching TV or just whatever it is. You get hooked in, and your brain becomes like a demon that's like pulling you around rather than you pulling your brain around. Because that's what your body essentially is. That's all your body is. That's why you got to keep it healthy and keep it fit and athletic. And I mean, not necessarily all that, but you got to eat well and you got to exercise a little bit. You got to keep your body in peak physical condition as long as you can, because your body's basically just a suit for your mind. You're just carrying around your ideas and your thoughts and your words around, basically, right? Because you cut the head off the body, it's just a body. It's useless now. But if you fucking have the head on, we got the brain. That's what the fucking human body is evolved for. That's why we don't have claws or sharp teeth or none of that shit that animals have no more, because we don't need it. We just have our brains. It's kind of funny. It's kind of real funny, actually, because, like, what animal would survive like that? Like, obviously we survive because we have the ability to build tools, but what if we never evolved that? Or didn't evolve thumbs, so we couldn't carry? I guess we would just figure out other ways of making tools to where we could carry it, but if we didn't know how to make tools, we'd be fucked. We would be fucked. So it's a thank God that we have our brain moment, because if we didn't, it would be a problem. But also, the human brain is programmed with all this animalistic shit still. And so we fucking have impulses and jealousy and greed and anger and all these fucking things that make us unhappy and make us not be able to live in the joyous beingness of life. That's what we're all looking for, isn't it? We want to all be happy, feel good, fucking just be, you know what I'm saying? Be in a state where we're not struggling. But you know what? I think the only way to be in that state is to make yourself struggle. That's why I said you gotta eat well and you gotta exercise. You gotta fucking educate yourself, take care of your mind. Because if you're not, it's not gonna end well, buddy. I'm sorry. I was going down a dark path, and my mind still tries to take me on dark paths. That's why I gotta fight it. I gotta go to work, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta eat well, I gotta do all this shit just so that I cannot be taken over by my brain, because by the time I'm done doing all this shit I gotta do, my brain's exhausted. Doesn't want to fucking do all this stupid shit like drink all night or fucking do stupid shit like that. That's why I exert myself. If I don't, I get bored. I fucking run out of shit to do, and then I'm like, now what? That's why I kind of like work. Work's cool because it gives you something to do. Every single day you're guaranteed something to do. But I've been working since I was 13, and I've only not had a job a few times. And when I didn't have a job, it felt terrible. Pretty sure one was for like a week and then the other was for like a month. Yeah, that's it. And then I've been working. It sucks. It does suck. It sucks sometimes. There's always a lot of shit going on, a lot of shit fucking up. A lot of people that you might not get along with, but it gives you something to do every day. It gives you a purpose. Without a purpose, we're just kind of bouncing around. Don't have really shit to do, you know what I'm saying? And then we gotta find shit to do. And if you're good at that, and you know, and you have the money, really, that's really what it all comes down to, I guess, is money. Most people don't have the financial freedom to do what they want. I barely do. I struggle sometimes, man. Struggle to pay the bills, struggle to pay, like, for the gym sometimes, struggle to pay all kinds of stuff. That's why I said you gotta optimize your time, because time's gonna go quick as fuck. It goes quicker every year. And if you're just focused on making money, time's gonna go away real quick. You gotta focus on your relationships and improvement, all this shit. Money's important too, though, because that's what I was about to say, is financial freedom, man. That's what you really want. It's the ability to be able to do what you want. And I'm not saying to fuck around all day, because that's not fun either. It's fun to fuck around sometimes, but not fuck around all day or for a fucking month straight or something where you don't have a job or you don't have a purpose and you're just one of those motherfuckers that are trying to find themselves, whatever that means. But I think that everybody needs a purpose. I think that humans need a purpose. It's kind of like what I was saying in the other podcast of how I think our higher purpose is to give ourselves away to something more important. Because that's what you do as a parent, as a husband, a wife, even as a kid, kind of. Because you give up your Jesus Christ, autonomy. I think I was trying to say anonymity. Is that a word? I think that's a word. Anonymity. Hey Siri, what does anonymity mean? Hey Siri, what does anonymity mean? Siri does not know what I'm talking about. I might be making up words here, guys. I have no idea. But I was trying to say autonomy. You give up your autonomy as a kid. Because you're trying, fighting for it. But at the end of the day, you have to listen. So you're giving in. Because you need to be able to eat. You need to be able to be supported. Or you're going to die. And the kids can't support themselves. I think that might be it. That might be why the world's so fucked up right now. Because we're all fighting. We're all looking at each other like our enemy and our opposites, rather than pieces of ourselves. I was thinking that this morning. I was thinking, like, I wonder how, because I'm always listening. And I overheard somebody talking while I was walking in, and they were like talking about themselves and shit. And I wonder how much other people think about themselves. And like, I guess what I'm trying to say is most people think of themselves as separate beings from other people. And I don't see it that way. Because even if we take out the spiritual aspect, biologically, we influence each other with words and concepts and ideas and television and all this other stuff. We're influenced constantly by the outside world. In fact, without the outside world, we would have nothing inside. That's why we have senses. The ability to perceive the outside world and receive it in. So I don't know. I think that we're connected. And I guess my concept here is I was wondering how many people see themselves as separate. So when I walk in there, I see myself as part of a unit. You know what I'm saying? We're like a hive, a beehive. We all do this, our separate thing, but it's all going into this big thing that we're building. And I just wonder who else has that perspective. Because I feel like it would help bring us all together. Because it's like the golden rule type shit. You're not going to hurt somebody else if they're you. Same with that other person. If you're them, they're not going to hurt you. We want to treat everybody with kindness and respect. Treat everybody like we want to be treated. I remember fighting for that as a kid. All I wanted as a kid was respect. That's why I kind of gave up on it. I mean, I don't try to get respect. If I gain people's respect and I respect them, then I obviously appreciate it. But I don't make people respect me or think I need to make people respect me. Nothing like that. Well, I guess I do, because I have self-respect. And there's a certain level of disrespect I won't tolerate like anybody else. But as a kid, I would always wish that I was being talked to as if they respected me. I remember adults not respecting me because I was a kid. And obviously kids, but they're not like coherent to what's going on everywhere, and they're always in their own little world and shit, but they're still human beings. I think they need to be treated with the utmost respect and love. They should be getting most of it, the majority. They're the children. Respect and love. And that's what made me resent adults as a kid and not trust anybody, I think. It's because they didn't respect me. And I remember fighting for so long to gain respect. And I was just like, how do I do this? And I would work and I would do all this other shit to try to gain respect from adults. And I could never figure it out until I learned. I had to learn a lot of stuff. But I learned that you got to communicate with people. That's why I do this and why I talk to people like Chance and my dad and my family. Because you got to communicate. It's the only way anybody's going to understand you. How are they not? And then they can respect you out of understanding you if you are a decent person or a good person. I hope you're a good person. Most people are, I think. But if you are a good person, then you don't need to fight for somebody's respect. You just need to talk to them. Because by talking to them, being communicative, and it has to be good communication. It has to be expressed eloquently in a way that people can understand. That's why you got to work on this. Communication is not just an innate skill that we're born with. Obviously, babies can't talk. Kids can't talk until a certain age, and then they start slowly gaining mastery over the human language. That's why we have to practice constantly. That's why I like doing this too, is because I just talk to myself. And yeah, it's a little weird, and I know people are going to listen, but it helps me express my ideas. And then when Chance gets on and we're having a conversation, it makes me a better conversator, or conversationalist, I think is the better term, with other people. You know what I'm saying? Although I still get social anxiety. I don't like talking to like new people or like people in certain contexts. It's weird. I don't know. I just feel anxious and weird around people. I've always felt that way. And I don't know what it is. I think I'm a little autistic, to be honest. Because I force myself into social situations. If I didn't have to be in them as like a human being, because we need socialization and we need other people to talk to and bounce ideas off of and stuff, I'd probably just chill by myself all day, to be honest. Because like, I'm always chilling. I'm always doing my own thing. I'm always just having a good time within myself. I guess I shouldn't say always, because sometimes I'm having a rough time inside myself, but yeah, you gotta work on communication. That's why kids are kind of bad at it. Like kids, if you listen to kids, if you like I have nieces and nephews, if you ever listen to them, they say a bunch of nonsensical like shit, and it's like, what the hell are you saying? It's because they're just practicing talking. They don't know what the fuck they're saying either. They're just trying to say shit. And like, that's the hardest thing to do ever on this planet, is formulate ideas into thoughts, getting somebody else to understand those words through their own ideas and experience and upbringing and childhood and all that shit. And then they have to run that through their processor, and then they have to shit out some more fucking words that relate to your concept and your idea, and hope that they understood. It's a tricky process. It's not easy. It's like a chess game, a very advanced level of chess. That's what human speech is. No other animals developed it. It's only us. It's just kind of crazy. And the conditions had to be specific just for us to develop this larynx and the ability to speak. And not only speak, but we associate these weird noises that we make with our, like, if a dog's barking, I wonder if it translates to words in their brain, or if, like ours, or if it's just a bark, and they know by the, like, a tone, or like a sense that we can't understand anymore. Because, like, we had to communicate without words before we developed human speech and human written language. And so we just had to have a level of knowing with each other, which is pretty insane. Maybe that's what, like, telepathy and shit is. Maybe that's where that idea comes from. Maybe we literally are connected in some weird way that we've forgotten, because we are always on technology and we're always doing other shit. We don't need to really have these senses anymore. But I think with, like, Neuralink and maybe all this other technology, maybe we'll bring them back. Maybe we'll unlock... Oh. Maybe that's what Neuralink is supposed to do. Like, alright, worst case scenario of Neuralink is some bad, like, foreign government, not even necessarily foreign, but some corrupted government gets hold of this technology and uses it on us, and you know what I'm saying? And then the best case scenario would be that it unlocks the full potential of our human mind. Because, like, you always hear that shit about, like, us using 10% of our brain and shit, which isn't true. That's a myth. We use 100% of our brain. But I think there's more in this thing than we realize. Because it's constantly adapting. It's constantly plastic. It gets harder as you grow older, obviously, but at a young age, if you want to change in any way, you can. And there's nothing stopping you, unless, like, you got a real disability or something, but then you still might be able to find a way around it if you're dedicated enough. It's all about your willpower, dedication, and potential. I think everybody's got it. It's just a skill. It's like talking. Not everybody's good at it. And see, we base whether somebody's intelligent or not off their speech. So if they don't sound intelligent, a lot of people may look at them as if they're not intelligent. But that may not be true. I've learned that. Because I've talked to many people that I thought, and I judge people harshly initially sometimes. Just depends on the person, I suppose. But sometimes I'm like, oh, this guy's got nothing in there. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they really don't. Some people, they just, like, nonsense in their brain. But other people, they have a lot in there. Some people can formulate ideas, and sometimes it takes them a second because there's so much going on. Because my brain's always running. My brain's always like, rawr, rawr, never shuts the fuck up. That's why I'm always just thinking about shit. Like, that's why I'm able to do this. It's because I'm just always thinking. Always thinking. It's an interesting thing. That's why I look off in the distance, I've realized. It's because if you, like, focus on, like, if you're just looking and don't focus on one specific object, and you just let your eyes just wander off, and you know how they go kind of blurry and shit, and then you're just laying here, your brain kind of takes over, and you can't, because you're kind of getting rid of the visual stimulation, because you're looking at the same, not looking at one thing, but you're looking at the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just a wide view of things. And your brain's like, oh, don't gotta focus on that anymore. And so then you start going inward. You're like, oh, what's going on in here? And then you start fucking thinking about shit. And it's cool. I like thinking. It makes me feel good. Sometimes it makes me feel terrible, but I've tried to minimize that, and I've tried to get better at processing things in my brain. Because it's the only really way to get rid of them. Things that you do not want in your brain is to process them and let them go. And that's not easy at all. It's very hard. It's a very hard process. It takes a lot of time. effort, work, and it's too easy to fall back into those old circuits. That's why you gotta like constantly be doing it. It's not just about changing a few things that you're doing. You gotta change your entire lifestyle to match who you want to be as a person, and that takes a lot of introspection in itself. You gotta sit there and wonder, who do I want to be? Do I want to be a good person? What do I want to do for work? Am I happy with what I'm doing now? Like, am I happy with my manager? What do I like and not like? Am I happy with my coworkers? What do I like and not like? That's what I think about. Because, like, you gotta do a lot of inner work. You gotta figure a lot of stuff out. It's scary living in an apartment. Constantly hearing people moving around. But, what else can I talk about? I don't know. I guess I gotta go figure out what I'm gonna make for food. I'm not really hungry. I don't know why. If you guys got any ideas what you guys want to hear me and Chance talk about, put them in the comment. Because we'll read them. We'll be like, oh. And probably think about them for a little bit and then probably talk about it. Depending on the topic. If it's like a good topic. It's like, I guess I wouldn't know what a good topic is. It has to be like described well enough to where it's not just like one word, like donut. It's got to be like, do you think donuts are this? Or something like that. Because then we got to think. Then it's like posing a question so that we can ponder it. Because you can't just ponder a word, really. That's too broad, I think. Other than that, I don't know, man. I don't think I have much else to talk about. I'm just kind of chilling. Just trying to keep shit together. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard. Especially with all the shit going on. There's always shit going on, though. It's not special to this time. There's always been shit going on. People survived World War II. The entire world was at war. And we're sitting here like, I don't know if I can do it, guys. I'm getting a little broke. We'll survive. We'll survive. What the hell? The government's listening. We just gotta keep working. Keep working on ourselves. That's why I keep saying it. I don't mean to be like a broken record, but it's what I hold in my brain every day. Just got to keep improving. Keep improving. That's what I tell myself. That's why I just say it constantly. Just 'cause I'm like, keep improving. Because you got to remind yourself constantly. Constantly. Because you're always having thoughts that are trying to bring you back into the depths. Depths of hell. Like, oh, that cookie was good. Maybe you should eat another and another and another and another until you've eaten fucking a whole thing of cookies and your stomach hurts. I did that the other day. I do that shit constantly. And I gotta just like, no, one cookie and that's it. And we're chilling. I just go hard with whatever it is, working out. Doesn't matter what it is, man. And so I gotta learn to go hard on the good things and soft on the bad things. And I don't know. We're all just trying to figure out life, trying to balance it all out. And it's kind of hard. Not kind of. It is fucking terribly hard. It's not easy at all. But we just keep on keeping on, don't we? I think I'm gonna go shower, take some meat out or something. That way me and Chance can eat tonight. Maybe we deserve it, maybe we don't, but I hope you guys have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Beautiful Thanksgiving. Whatever time of year you listen to this, have a beautiful whatever it is. And bye.